There are millions of homeless people in America, most usually without food, water, clothing, and or shoes. Many dealing with mental illnesses that they aren't getting help for, women and men both trying to stay above water, while more obstacles come their way. Some without transportation that are walking to one destination to another. Some homeless people even have a car but no actual house or apartment to reside in. Homeless shelters are available to people who are unable to make it during the sign-in time. Shelters provide food, water, clothing, and other personal products that are needed. Shelters provide domestic abuse classes, giving people ability to vent about the problems they have encountered while being homeless. Shelters offer parenting classes as well as a way to help women to continue to provide education to their children that they may need. What happens, though, when they can't make it to the homeless shelter? Most decide to sleep on sidewalks, alleyways, under bridges, and many other places that they consider safe. Some may sleep in the park on benches or even at times under them, panhandling for food and money. Many men and women struggle, but what are the main things that women deal with? My two main topics are child custody and hygiene maintenance. What does it take to maintain a healthy life for your children? How does it feel knowing the dangerous possibilities? And hygiene, how is it that people are able to keep themselves clean with little to no money? This documentary will go into the lives of two women who are encountering lively struggles from previously being homeless to currently being homeless in the custody of children, and also finding maintenance to live a successful life. Our first topic, being about women who are in the custody of children while being homeless, goes into Miss Green, who's from Brooklyn, New York, the experiences she has gone through the course of her life. Here's Miss Green, and this is her story. The biggest risk you have and or fears you have for the safety of your children?
The biggest risk and fear, I would say, disability for my children and normalcy, because it starts now. Them being young, you want to make sure you have as much stability and much normalcy for them as possible, because they have no choice in being here. So you want to make sure that they're going to school every day, they have a roof over their head, they have food on their table, water to wash up with, lights on. So the biggest risk and fear is just stability, because if you don't have stability now, when they become older as adults, I think it affects them when they go out into the real world and have to face reality. Yeah.
What are the feelings you were having trying to protect your children?
My feelings, I would describe emotional roller coaster. Just because constantly having to worry about the safety, making sure they're out of harm's way, making sure that everything is as normal as possible. So for me, definitely emotional roller coaster, up and down, up and down. It's it's a constant. I would say a constant thought. Once you have children, that's all you think about. That's all you should be thinking about. So I would describe it as an emotional roller coaster.
You have 3 kids, right?
Yes, 3. My daughter is 9. Her name is Jayla. My son is 6. It's RJ, and my youngest is Janala, and she's 10 months.
Oh, so how do you feel not being able to be around your youngest daughter?
Right now, due to my current situation, it does affect me because I am a mother. I am used to being around my children majority of the time. I have custody of my first 2, my oldest. So, right now, not being around her on a daily, it does affect me, But what helps me get through the day is knowing that she is in safe hands. She's out of harm's way. She's being well taken care of. So it's about your support system and who you have in your corner and who's willing to help you and who's not willing to help you. So right now, me being able to sleep at night is just her being in good hands. But it does make me sad when I hear her song, or because she likes music. So if I hear a song on the radio that's her favorite song, it does make me a little sad. But I go right back to she's okay. She's out of harm's way. She's safe. She's in a home. The lights is on. There's food on the table. And there's love. So, yeah.
So what precautions have you taken in order to keep your children safe?
Precautions is keeping a job, honestly, keeping money flowing. I've been a dental assistant for 10 years now. And that being in the medical field, it definitely helps because there's always a constant job in the medical field. So for me, having that career, having that trade, and then loving what I do, it definitely helps me provide for my children. There is some women who don't have that same opportunity, so it makes it much harder. Not saying that for me it's easy because I do have a job, or because it's easy for me to get a job, because it's still just as hard. But a lot of the times there's women out there who don't have that skill or don't have that opportunity, and it's much harder. So just going to work every day, and then also getting assistance from DSS, which I do get assistance when it comes to EBT, which is food stamps. I get $200 a month. Of course, that's not enough to feed 4 mouths, but it definitely helps. So you have to stretch it. You definitely have to add to it. So that's why I say me having a job definitely helps, but also getting assistance with that definitely helps also. So having those two things that hand in hand. And then also a good support system, like I said before, definitely makes it, easier. But yeah.
So how are you budgeting? What ways are you budgeting, or techniques are helping you in order to, feed them, make sure that they have clothing, because they are growing, they are progressing?
I would say, just from a mother's perspective and a single parent perspective, I would say, just make sure you budget. Make sure you pay what's first, and that is bills. The basic necessities. Don't go over the top. Don't go out buying expensive clothes, Gucci, Louis. I'm from New York, so a lot of people from New York are materialistic, and it's all about what you're wearing, or what you have on, or what your kid's wearing. But yet your kid has on $1,000 pair of shoes, but yet you're still walking. So it's kind of like you have to pick your priorities, pick your battles. So I would say, there's nice clothes at Walmart, there's nice clothes at Target, the flea market, Salvation Army. Even if somebody has clothes, to pass down to you, don't never turn it down. Oh, I don't want that. Check them out. If there's holes in them, of course you don't want your child going to school with holes in their clothes. You want to make sure they look decent, make sure they're clean. But if they are clean, they do look decent, why not? Just because your kids are going to grow. Your kids are going to grow every single day. So you buy your child something expensive that they're going to grow out of, what use do you have with it? When they become, say you buy them something at the age of 5, and then by the time they're 6, 7, they can't wear it anymore. So what did you get out of that? Just by them wearing it, just to say that they had this name brand, outfit, or this name brand shoes? Makes no sense. So you want to definitely make sure that your priorities are in order, to the point where, you're not out overdoing it or overspending, or, you taking care of your priorities first, or you're taking care of your, just your home, pretty much, your bills, the important shit. Oops, I didn't mean to say shit. The important stuff, sorry. But yeah.
So my question is, how do you feel as though it would affect them if they knew that they were in this predicament with you?
I feel like it would affect them because they're children. So it would affect them to the point where they ask questions. Children are smart. They're not dumb. They see what's going on. They take on your energy. They take on your emotions. So I feel like when the environment or what you're going through is stressful, it does fall on them, whether you know it or not, or whether you like it or not. So just making it as easy as possible and kind of keeping them from that. That's why I say stability and normalcy, because if they have that and that's what they see, everything else is not going to affect them, because what they see is what they see. They're children.
And you were talking about earlier that, that at a young age, your brothers and sisters were going through it. Give me some examples of that. Like, would you like to talk about that?
Sure. I feel like it starts when you're a child. Example, my brother and sister were taken away at a young age. They were put in the system, sent to foster care. But my mom is a recovering alcoholic. So at the time, she was not able to take care of her children. Unfortunately, they didn't have a good support system, because the person on the other end who did call CPS, because it's easy as a phone call. So if you don't take care of your responsibilities and you don't do what you're supposed to, it's easy for somebody looking on the outside to say, hey, they're not doing what they're supposed to for their children. Let me go ahead and call someone and let them know that this is going on. And that's CPS. So for my mom, CPS was called, and unfortunately my brother and sister were taken away. I so happened to be able to go live with my dad, which helped me have a normal stability, a normal stable life. And on the other hand, with them, it didn't. So it affected them. So now as adults, they don't know how to face reality. They don't know how to survive on their own. My sister's 23 and my brother's 19, and neither one of them have a job. Neither one of them know what they want to do. So, I feel like it starts at a young age, and if what they see is nothing but chaos and nothing but, things that are out of order, or just not budgeting, and you're paying stuff that you're not supposed to be, or you're buying this stuff and your bills is not paid, they see that and then they think that's okay, and they grow up to think that's okay, but this is not. So when reality hit and the real world comes, it's kind of like, oh man, what's this? So like I said, it starts at a young age. So for them, it definitely affected them, to the point where now they're, like I said, 23 and 19 and really not doing nothing with their lives.
Yeah, and men really don't have to deal with, having kids.
Mm-hmm.
One of the reasons I am discussing this with you is because I know that if men were homeless, the only thing they really honestly have to, focus on would be themselves, because they can't give birth to kids. They don't have to prevent anything. They don't have to save themselves from anyone.
Yep.
And I feel as though having children is one of those challenges where if you have multiple, then you have multiple mouths to feed, you have multiple people that you have to clothe, and you also, people think that it's just easy to have kids and be homeless. It's not. Like you said, you have to educate them along the way. It's certain things they have to learn, and it's always that possibility of having your children taken away from you, and you not being able to ever see them again, or somebody else raising your kids for you in foster care, only for them to pick up bad habits that you never gave to them.
Yep, exactly. So you want to make sure that you try to provide as much as you can and give them as much stability as possible, so that way when they get older, they know what they're going to be facing when they step out into the real world. But it is hard, women and children. There is men out there who do take care of their children and may not have, the mother involved. But I feel like a lot of the times what the situation is women and children ended up being out there and just not knowing where to turn. But there is people out there to help. There is resources. There is, people who are willing to give assistance, people who are willing to, give a hand, people who are willing to donate clothes, or, there's it's help out there. You're not by yourself. There's other women who are going through the same thing. So, my advice to women who are going through what I'm going through or worse, I would say, just reach out. You're not by yourself. Don't feel alone. It's not the end of the world. Just know that there is people out there that can help you. And then you can also help yourself. And that's pretty much it.
That was Miss Green we were speaking with, and now we will be talking with Riley Michelle, who is from Los Angeles, California, who lives in an area where it was really hard for her to get on her feet. And now she's able to speak with us about the circumstances that she did go through, and this is her story.
My experiences while being homeless was having no money and having no place to stay and not having a shower every day, not having friends or so-called friends that's supposed to be your friends to reach out to try to help. That was my in code. Being cold, yes.
What were the places you found for safety?
I stayed in my car for about 3 months, 3 or 4 months or so. 3 or 4 months. 3 to 4 months, and then I found a side hustle, and the hustle, I met this Islam man. His name was Alam Muhammad. He took me in, he helped me, and every day I would wash cars for him because he had his own rental car business. So he was a small business owner. He helped me out. I wash his cars every day. He'll pay me under the table. And what I did is I get gas every day and buy food for myself and buy the necessities that I needed for everyday basis. that was during the night. I'll sleep in my car, and I'll find like safe spots, like in light hotels. Sleep in areas of where there's lots of light. Sleep, in the hotel areas or whatnot, like in the front or whatnot. Never experienced anything else outside of that. Getting like snuck up on, none of that. Never experienced that portion. Never had that incident happen to me.
So how your cycle, the hygiene part, what to do in order to make sure that you kept yourself clean?
So I joined the gym. And when I joined the gym, you could take a shower there. So I joined the gym for that, worked out, and took a shower every day.
Wow. And they didn't mind that at all? Because you joined the gym?
No, because I paid to join the gym.
Mm-hmm. That's a good technique. So there were never times that you ran out of feminine products whatsoever?
No, because I had a job that paid under the table.
So what were some other obstacles that you had encountered while
I didn't, honestly,
you feel about that?
I didn't explore any other obstacles. I basically always, I'm very ambitious, so I always find something, you know what I mean? Even if it's something like, even if it's something as small as just what I did, but he paid me fairly well, and I got by with that $80 a day.
Oh, that's a lot down here.
Yeah, so with what he paid me, because I would wash all the cars every day. That'll take me about, I'll be on the clock for about 5 or 6 hours. He'll pay me that. And I took that money every day and got gas, what I needed to get, any products. That was enough to get me into YMCA, to go to the gym, work out, take a shower, and then I'll be like, on my spare time, I'll be looking for jobs. Took me about 3 months to land a decent job, and when I finally did, I basically worked, and then on the weekends I'll get a hotel room and sleep and shower and do what I need to do and rest in an actual bed. And I saved up enough money to eventually get my own place, my apartment, and I did that.
How long did it take you to get your own
From when I got the job, it took me approximately another 3 months.
Wow. Really?
Yeah.
So all that, like, basically since 6 months, like, you went through that process, half a year.
Yeah, half a year, yep.
And how do you keep yourself level from not, backsliding back to that? Because I know that people, whenever they have, encountered that circumstance, they can go on water and slide back.
Oh no, I never. I told myself, That's when your mental kicks in. When you go through a situation like that, it shows you. And once it showed me, and I was like, this is not gonna happen again. So after that, I grew from that extremely, and I did what I had to do. Everybody's mental is different. My mental is very strong because I'm very ambitious. And once I, fail one time, it's just like, that's just a lesson learned, and it won't happen again.
Right. Well, it was nice talking to you and getting to know your story and your part. And I'm glad that you were able to contribute some of your experiences with me.
Yeah, so like, anybody else is going through those situations, they just always have a plan. Never deter from any plan. Make plans. Always have backup plans. You never know. Save your money. Do what you got to do. Jobs are never guaranteed, because this is what happened to me. Know that jobs are never guaranteed. The only job that is guaranteed is when you create your own job.
Right.
Create your own job. You have your own stability, and this is you know, first and foremost to everything. You know what I mean? So always have backup plans. Always know that a job is not going to ever get you rich. It's not going to get you ahead. All it does is it's a stepping stone to help you pay your bills, and a stepping stone to invest in something that would be more greater on this physical earth, on this physical plane. Put your money somewhere. Invest your money in things that you know that will grow. Without a job will not get you ahead. Since sometimes not even guaranteed. You'll be homeless on the street. Yeah, it can happen. Happens to everybody. Even happens to the best of people that worked. You know, had $100,000 a year job. Happens to people. That's the advice I have. Yes.
Alright, we're gonna have to cut off the recording thing.
Yeah.
I'll just cut that part out. But I do appreciate you